Hello, Blizzard fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is Game 4 between Life and PartinG on Vaani Research Station. This is from the semifinal round of the Intel Extreme Masters held in Taiwan in 2015. And Life is currently up 2-1 on PartinG. This is a best-of-5 series, which means if Life wins this, he wins the whole series, and PartinG has to go home. But PartinG can force a deciding Game 5, depending on how well he does here and if he can win the game. So, in the top of Vaani Research Station, we have the blue Protoss player, PartinG. And if we head south a little bit, we have the red player, Life. And again, these are two of the best players on Earth, obviously, because they are professionals, and I would not be casting them if they weren't fantastic, although I do suppose that I do cast some Bronze League 2v2s once in a while, me with my buddy Cherd Ferguson. You may have caught those earlier on the channel. I might put a link to them here in the bottom, so you can click on that and check out that hilarity. I mean, 2v2 Bronze is pretty much as fun as you can get in Starcraft 2, I think. You see all kinds of weird builds, and who knows what you'll see in that environment, but alright, so this map again has a very easy to take natural for pretty much all races. I was going to say both players, but for Protoss, Terran, and Zerg, you can take this base because it is basically an island. There's no way to blink in here, Reapers can't get in here, you have to fly stuff in here, which takes a while to get, and so most players will kind of open up an early hatchery or nexus or command center there, but you know what? That is not something PartinG wants to do. PartinG wants to get a forge out, as I think he's done in 2 out of the 3 previous games, is get that early forge, wants to punish Zerg players who go early hatch, but instead Life says, I'm going to get a spawning pool, which is smart. That prevents a cannon from doing a ton of damage to his economy early on. I mean, a cannon rush that destroys a hatchery first is just, it puts the Zerg on such a back foot economically that it can be hard to recover from it. So we're going to follow our sneaky little probe from PartinG here, or P squared. And he says, is there a base? No, there's not. There's an overlord, but not a base, which means there might be one back here at the back. He sees the spawning pool, says, all right, early spawning pool. There will be Zerglings out soon. Anything I want to do needs to happen pretty quickly. And he does see the base. This drone's purpose, basically his job, was to see if the probe put down any cannons. If that was the case, he'd have to pull workers off the line to kill those to save this base. But no, the probe was not interested in doing that, just headed back on home. So forge first into a nexus, recognizing that the Zerg player isn't doing any too crazy shenanigans, and heads on out to check for a base over here. No, we're probably going to throw down a forward pylon, maybe come in for a scout a little bit later now that he is hidden from view. So it looks like a queen coming out, a couple scouting Zerglings. Any more Zerglings than that in production for Life? No, none whatsoever. Scouting Overlord pops right on in, sees a gateway, sees another photon, or sees a photon cannon, not a pylon, and says, okay, everything's normal here. A gas being taken at the main. I have to assume there's a base here based on how many things. There's not a cyber core. If there was no nexus, there would be a cyber core out for the Protoss player, and so he can see, just infer based on what is available to him, that there is a nexus being built. And again, because this is such an easy base to take that second at, he can feel pretty safe in that assumption as well. Probe trying to head on home, 2 Zerglings chasing it. I assume, based on how much health he has, he will survive to get on home and will be saved by this photon cannon eventually. Cyber core going down right now. Third base being taken by Life. So, something of a macro game at this point. Will I speed things up? Nah, I won't speed things up. I'll try to make this as entertaining as possible. Probe coming on up. Will he? Yeah, the Zerglings say no. There's something here that will kill us at the top of the ramp. There is a photon cannon. I know, because the Overlord gave me vision. Where is it? Yes, the Overlord gives vision. I can't see it now, but I know it's there. We're going to go back to everybody's vision here. Zerglings just kind of hanging out. Look how cute they are. They got those little big old things on the top of their heads and wavy tails and... yeah, okay, they're not that cute. I apologize. We're going to back out and get away from them. Macroing up, drones coming out, queens coming out. I have Starport, though, not a Starport, Stargate, rather. This is not Terran, this is Protoss. Stargate coming up for a Protoss player, PartinG. Probably some Oracle harass. A good scout from Life says, you know what that is? That is a Stargate. Sees exactly what it is, sees that it is building, and says, perfect. I know it's coming, I'm going to go ahead and eventually throw down a cannon in my main, just to prevent any weird Oracle harass from coming out. I don't think it's a mass Stargate play. It is not Skytoss, as that is known to be called, which are carriers. I mean, basically carriers, Void Rays, Mothership Core. Skytoss is pretty much that. Maybe some Oracles thrown in there as well. Oh yeah, Phoenix are an important part of that. Can be difficult for Zerg players to deal with. I know I've lost to it many a time, but not something I've seen on the professional level too much. So maybe Zerg players have kind of figured out how to deal with it. Phoenix is being boosted out here. Going to try to find this hidden overlord. Not very hidden, and boof, he's going to die, unfortunately. Another Phoenix. So a pair of Phoenix are going to fly around, mostly for scouting purposes. I don't think they're going to get too many drone kills at all, just because 2 Phoenix, 1 lift, 1 shoots. It takes a few shots to kill a drone. And a Queen is also kind of whacking at you the whole time you try that. So unless we see more Phoenix coming out, how many do we have already? 2, 3. Okay, 3 might be enough for some drone harassment. We'll have to see what happens. They are now scouting along the right side and the left side, looking for any foolish overlords that are hanging out there, because they would have died. But turns out Life kept all of his overlords at home, but recognizes there's probably some Phoenix coming, positioning 2 queens there, positioning a spore crawler and a second queen. It's going to be a little bit late, depending on what this Phoenix decides to do. No, it pops up just in time to prevent any weird harassment from coming on. The Phoenix say, alright, we're going to come together, and we're going to see what we can do. But there are 2 queens busting things out. 3rd queen there. There is just nowhere for these Phoenix to go. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much just scouting at this point. I don't think they're going to get any drone kills whatsoever. Scouting Zergling does see the 3rd coming up for our Protoss player. It does die to the tickle cannons from the sentries. And we have, okay, 4 Phoenix. This is officially a pretty decent army at this point. We'll kind of follow them around as they try to pick up drones. They do get 1 drone kill, 2 drone kills, 3 drone kills. And yeah, like I said, you need a bunch of Phoenix to really make this work for the harassment. 4 drone kills is pretty good. We look at the income tab, it is 67 to 48 though. Yikes. I think we need a few more drone kills to even things up. Phoenix, more Phoenix coming out? No, it looks like that's it for now according to the production tab. Are they going to come back in? We're still following them as a 4th base comes down for life. And where do they go? They try to kill an overlord, but there are a whole bunch of queens here sniping as best they can. Flying over here, is there a spore crawler? There is, trying to kill another overlord. Barely managing to snipe it off, taking some hits to the face though. Managing to get a bunch of drone kills here on the right side. Oh, losing 1 Phoenix in the process. 5 more drone kills, 6 more drone kills. That was an open, kind of exposed area. That was some excellent micro there from the Protoss player. But Zerglings popping on in, trying to deny this base, are not able to do it due to the patented hidden photon cannon, which I see every Protoss player do against Zerg. It is just so good as against Zerglings. There's no way for them to get in there, and it can really hold off a large number of these guys. If you want to keep an open, exposed base like this free, you just see how much room there is. You can't really wall it off, so you kind of wall stuff in, wall photon cannons in, if you know what I mean. Income tab shows 71 to 61 harvesters for life. 3 more workers dying here on the right side. This harassment is doing pretty well, and getting a full scout off as well. We have a Roach Warren with a glial reconstitution, which means they are faster. And this 4th base is getting fairly saturated, but he's lost. I mean, how many workers lost here? What is... Can I get workers lost here? I guess we got a lost. 13 units lost. And we pop on up. The Phoenix are still here scouting around. Going to try to kill a bunch of these overlords. Are going to get 1? No, a transfuse saves it at the last second. Still kind of scouting around, seeing the swarm host, recognizing what's coming. What do we have in response? Extended thermal lance. Whoa, extended thermal lance for the Protoss player, which means we are going to see Colossus. Will it be enough is the question. Zergling saying, alright, is my opponent taking this gold base is the question. I do not want him to take this. Above all other things, do not take the gold. We have a photon cannon, or a pylon photon cannon, pylon photon cannon. More harassment here though. Good golly, these Phoenix are super annoying. 5 kills there, 7 kills there, 4 kills there, 3 kills there. I would say they have paid for themselves. Pylon does get taken down by these Zerglings. Very annoying for the Protoss player. A couple Colossus with +1 upgrades moving on out. It's time to move out, everybody says. We bring Blink Stalkers, we bring Sentries, we bring a Mothership Core. We're going to try to deny this space, but there are, how many Swarm Hosts? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Swarm Hosts, maybe 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in total right there. Forcing everybody back, and the army says nope, we're going to swing around the right side maybe if we can. Warp Prism, Special Tactics coming on up. We're going to distract with the Phoenix and drop here at the second. What's the response going to be? Spine Crawlers is what the response going to be. we going to warp anything in here at all? Man, 3 more workers go down. These Phoenix are just doing amazingly well. PartinG is fighting for his life very effectively, I think. Oh no, is this going to get sniped off? Yes, good micro from the Queens. Does mean to get sniped off doing some stutter step action, which you usually see some from Blinkstalkers and Marines, but actually Life says, I can do it with my Queens. Check this out. And does a fantastic job of it. Locust forcing this army back. There are not enough Colossus to deal with it, not enough sentries. But the third base of the gold is being taken. We do have a couple photon cannons, 3 photon cannons to defend against circling counterattacks. Phoenix moving around the backside here. I want to kill more workers, say the Phoenix, and they manage to do so, but lose one of their own in the process, very sadly. Creep spread moving on up. Creep is just so useful for the Locust. It means they can go farther, and the farther they go, the more damage they can do when they get there. These Stalkers, we have a couple Colossus. We're taking down Creep Tumors, preventing the creep spread along that right side of a Vaani research station. Zealot Legs completing, Gravitic Drive completing, which means Warp Prisms are a little bit faster. And we are just destroying these Creep Tumors like they did something personal to us. Locust swinging around the top, trying to be sneaky, but some good force fields means they don't get many kills at all, if any. Locust coming along from the left side, actually managing to take down a Stalker. Nope, no Stalkers die, nothing die whatsoever, not even that sentry. And the recall heads on home to deal with this counterattack of roaches. 2 workers have died, but you know, it wasn't too damaging by Life. I wonder if he's going to be able to do anything about this gold base. That could be the doom of him. Warp Prism pushing on up. What's its plan? Oh, there was a warp in of Zealots here, but they get taken down by these Queens. It looks like I missed that drop, but again, it did get cleared up. I don't think any workers died. Might have taken down some of these Spine Crawlers. And in response, Life says, I'm going to go and throw down a Spore Crawler here. It looks like PartinG likes to drop at this point. If I can get off some shots on this Warp Prism, I'll be happy about it indeed. Ooh, Dark Templar drop coming though. Warping in the Dark Templars, picking them up. And going to go ahead and try to get an attack off here. This actually might work as detection and air defense. Another Warp Prism, double Warp Prism drop could be super dangerous for the Zerg player. His army is all over here, so far away from being able to defend this base. And if it dies, that will cripple his economy very, very, very strongly. Here we go. Moving on in the Dark Templar, 4 of them coming out. Also, this Warp Prism, what's he going to do? Warping in a whole bunch of Zealots to help with it. Sniping that base down. Where is that other Warp Prism? Oh, here it is. Oh, that was weird. Okay, warping in at this base with what is the question? Nothing right now. But managing to snipe down that base very easily. Taking down the Roach Warren as well is a major pickup for the Protoss player. Do we have detection? Yes, we have a single Spore Crawler, which is enough. That Queen does die, but the other Queens doing their best to make sure this little army does get destroyed. Picked up by the Warp Prism and heads on out. So many, 18 workers dying for the Zerg player. Just a massacre here at this base. Trying to rebuild it. But I mean, Queens against this army composition is difficult unless your transfuses are spot on, and they are, with the help of a couple Locusts as well. This Dark Templar escaping into the corner. Cannot be seen because it's out of range of the Spore Crawler. Are we going to see an Overseer morph in to deal with this guy? Or are we just going to forget about him? That's a good question. This Warp Prism has been sitting here alone, unmolested, for like 5 minutes now. Okay, maybe 2. But still. I think, I mean, I feel like we need to deal with this. No, Locust, you can't deal with it. You can't shoot up, unfortunately. We do have another drop in with these Zealots getting mashed down by the Queens. Are they going to take out? Yes, they do focus down the Warp Prism. And the Zealot goes down as well. Finally, an Overseer pops up. There we go. There is a massive warping of Dark Templar. Are these all? Okay, a single Dark Templar. Oh, going to take down the Infestation Pit. Huge. That means no more Swarm Hosts for the Zerg player at all if he can get it. And yes, he does snipe it off. Massive pick-off. A battle here, just, I mean, PartinG doesn't really want to attack into these Locusts. He's just going to force field them off as best he can and do his damage at the back door with these Warp Prisms. I mean, good golly. It's 75 Harvesters for 71. Units lost, 43 workers killed for the Zerg player is just massive. He's able to take his 5th base. PartinG is. He has had this gold base forever, entirely unmolested at this point. These Corruptors hanging out get taken out by a bunch of Blinkstalkers who see them and say, you can't shoot down, but we can shoot up. Sniping down 2 Corruptors, maybe 3? No, this number of Locusts is enough to scare them off. Corruptors are there pretty much to deal Oh, now with his Mothership Core and these Colossus. So we'll have to see what happens. We are getting +3 Carapace upgrades from the Zerg player and a whole bunch of Corruptors. He has rebuilt this base. Is not fully saturated though. I've been in this spot before as a Zerg player. It's just so scary after having lost a base on a lot of workers, knowing, am I safe to drone up? I have a lot of money and I have a lot of larva, but if I make workers here instead of attack, I don't know if that's going to cost me the game. But Life says no, I can attack and macro up, sending the Locust up along this left side to do as much damage as he can possibly do. Oh, what did we... I don't know what's going on. I'm pressing so many weird buttons. Okay, any attacks over here? There might have been, but I probably missed it. Locusts here as well. Are we seeing this from... I don't know. Anyway, Corruptors coming on in with the Locust. Gonna go ahead and try to snipe down the Mothership Core, and they do. Corruptors have a lot of DPS. Also able to take down any of these. No, none of the Colossus actually fall. The Archons at the bottom with +3 upgrades are melting through those Corruptors, especially as they stack up. And the splash damage attack from the Archon is specially made to kill them, I believe. And here we are with the Locust at the front trying to snipe down what we can. We're going to zoom out a little bit. Trying to snipe down these Colossus as best as humanly possible. Taking a gold base down here is PartinG. He feels so comfortable in his spot. He just says, I'm going to take advantage of the lack of mobility of those Locusts and those Swarm Hosts, and I'm going to build a base down here. If you're going to be up here attacking, I'm going to take this gold base as well, because you haven't. And I'm going to see what attacks I can do that way. We're going to zoom back on in. Upgrades coming up from Life. He has so much money in the bank. I mean, 3,000, 2,000. Here we go. Vipers coming in, trying to yank stuff in, but they all got feedback by some Templar. Are there Templar in there? Yes, there are a few Templar. Templar with their feedback ability, what they do is they take existing mana that spellcasters have and do damage to the caster. So the more mana a unit has, the more damage they take. You'll notice these guys are damaged and they're out of mana. That's what happens when you get feedbacked. So pretty scary stuff. Locust moving on and trying to focus down that cannon. Do manage to do it before they expire, which is pretty nice. One less cannon for free is a good thing to see from the Zerg player. Kind of a interesting composition here. We have Corruptors, we have Vipers, we have Swarm Hosts. We're moving on up. We'll see if it works. There is a single Tempest, though, which doesn't do fantastic against the composition that the Zerg player has. They're better against Broodlords, mostly, and Ultralisks, I guess, massive units. We do have a lot of Storm, though. PartinG has these Templars up. They have maybe not a whole lot of energy. Oh boy, try to get in there. Everything got stormed because they were all stacked up like that. I mean, you really have to micro kind of more of an arc like this if you're going to attack this particular composition, but everybody's maxed out. I just feel like the composition for Life is a little bit better. He has the free units. He has a whole bunch of Corruptors with +3 upgrades. Getting a lot of transfuses down from these Queens. The Vipers are using their drain ability to get energy from buildings of the Zerg player and replenish their health. Moving on up. I mean, PartinG says, I'm just going to hang out here. Let you come on up and destroy whatever you want, because if you come too close, I will storm you, I will zap you, I will tempest you, and you will lose a lot of stuff. So both players just kind of playing it safe at this point. No workers here at the gold. Really no workers there either. I mean, PartinG says, I don't need much income just because I have such a huge bank right now. 4,000 and 2,000 is quite a bit. What's happening next? Actually sacrificing some of his own workers just so he can make more army units. That is interesting. It is 68 to 61. Yeah, he had 70 plus harvesters. That was probably too much for him. Good play. Has now rebuilt the Mothership Core. Excuse me. So everything is cloaked. Motherships do cloak even ground units. Ground units, air units, buildings, everything that is nearby is invisible. These workers are invisible. Locust, what are they focusing down? Choosing to focus down the assimilator, kind of? I don't even know what they're doing. They're confused right now. I wonder if we don't move the assimilators up a little bit. Ah, there is a Blink Stalker counterattack here. Taking down a few workers, trying to blink out, but all of these Stalkers are going to die. And they do. 53 harvesters still for the Zerg player, but I mean, PartinG can remax as much as he wants. Even sacrificing more workers to make a larger army at this point. This is a difficult position for both players to be in, but I feel like Life is kind of on his back foot. He can't kill this, which he really wants to do. There's not even much mining going on. I don't know fully know what the intent is. Coming on in, Storm coming in, yanking in the mothership core twice to kill it. Okay, so he's done a good job killing the mothership core as needed, but he hasn't done really a good job taking down these Colossus or these Tempests or these Void Rays or any of these Archons. Coming on in, we do have some Changelings to scout things out, trying to snipe down the Templars. It looks like that's what they were going for, but not having too much success there either. We're just continually moving in with these Locusts, and I know Protoss players will say, well, he's just losing free units, and anything he can kill is a massive pickup for him. Are they able to kill this Archon? No, it looks like they're kind of trying to focus on killing something else. I don't know what it is, but they're not doing a good job of it. More workers coming in to die. Are we just going to sit here and watch these swarm hosts for a while? Pulling in a Colossus and a Void Ray. Both of them go down. There we go. We're just going to win this war by attrition, Life says. I'm going to yank stuff in here, kill it. Yank stuff in here, kill it over and over and over as best we can. And hope eventually you run out of money, because that's all I can do. I mean, I guess it would be good to see maybe some Utilisk attacks or maybe some drops over, like, those workers are just hanging out. Do we have any mining going on at all for our Protoss player? I don't know what he's doing. This is really weird. He still has 52 harvesters. He probably should be mining from over here. He's down to 1,600 minerals, which is not a lot. He could run through that fairly quickly. Back when he had 4,000, yeah, that made a little bit more sense that he was sacrificing workers and not really mining. He's getting the gas, which I guess is what's more important to him. Locusts are focusing down this cannon. Will they get it before they die? No, but maybe round 2 will. Nope. They die as well. This is just a death trap right here with the area of effect attacks from these Colossus. The Tempests, really single target, but more Colossus coming in. Good golly. +3, +2. Sniping in 2 of the Tempests. And they do go down. Got a big Storm taking down another Tempest. Alright, alright. So Life says, I know what I'm doing. I'm taking down big, expensive units, basically for free. Attacking at the front are these Locusts against these Archons. Not a good fight for these Archons. I don't like it. Deciding, alright, now is the time. PartinG decides to move on up and then says, alright, I'm going to back up in the face of these giant waves of Locusts. But, oh yeah, they can't see anything. We need to detect if you're going to get up there, buddy. Huh. Well, there is a Spore Crawler at front. It can't quite detect this, though. The range is a bit outside of its normal area. We are throwing up a whole ton of static defense, though. If you want this gold base, you have to come and get it, Life says. Really just throwing up Locusts as best he possibly can. Locusts dying. Not much of else dying, though. I mean, nothing really dies unless it gets yanked in. The siege effects are huge from these Tempests, able to take down most everything. Whew! Mothership core dies immediately. Storm's getting thrown down. Feedback's getting thrown down. Archon's doing a lot of damage as well. Giant Tempest army now. How many Tempests are there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 Tempests is just huge. What is the response going to be from Life? He has all the static defense, but Tempest can tear through it. He does have Infestors. Maybe to force stuff to hold still? I don't know what the plan is. We're still at 194 to 198 supply. Both players maxed out. PartinG is only down to 600 minerals. He's mining here. He's kind of mining here. And he's kind of mining here. Does he still have those workers? No, he doesn't. Now making oracles to deal with this, interestingly enough. Everybody being chased back by these Locusts. I think Life could swoop on in here and take this base if he wanted it, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, PartinG has these other bases he's barely using. Losing this one is not going to hurt him too badly. Locust, I mean, Life is just content with saying, I'm going to go ahead and try to starve you out, I guess. None of the Archons go down there. One is basically down to just his health right now for 30 shields and 10 HP. Workers transferring over, finally, to actually mine this gold base, which actually is pretty mined out. Yeah, I guess PartinG's been attacking it with his drones better than I thought. Big time yanks, but the storms are huge. The feedbacks are huge. Zerg army getting basically decimated there. If we look at the units lost, he has lost 20 Corruptors at this point and 11 Vipers. Boy howdy, that's a lot of air units to go down, a lot of gas heavy units to die. The Locust just whittling stuff away, though. Whittling, best they can. It's so much static defense here. I don't know if the Infestors are defensive or what. They can't heal things, so who knows. Corruptors swooping on in, yanking in the Mothership Core, killing it for, what, the third time? Is that the third Mothership Core kill for the Zerg player? Just massive. Massive casualties to the Mothership Core numbers. This army just really content to hang out. Patrol back and forth, see what it can do. Tempests are +3/+3. Oracle's moving out to see what they can... Oh, immediately die. I mean, they got their Envisions down, which is nice, but boy, they died immediately. That pylon goes down. This is not a thing I can do zoomed in, is it? No, we're zoomed out. More Tempests showing up. +2, +2, +3/+3/+2 upgrades there. Locust moving on in, trying to snipe down these Archons. Killing these Archons would be nice, but they just can't really manage to do it. They get a couple of them down to like 90 shields or double-digit shields, but they just recharge as soon as they're out of combat. You'll notice 98, 99, 100. They recharge fairly quickly. Locust trying to snipe down this base. Neither player, I think, quite knows what to do. They both have a lot of income. They both have a lot of bank. But just neither player can really finish the other one off. It's a difficult situation for both of these players to be in. I know I've said that before. We have a pylon there. We have a pylon here. PartinG throwing down random pylons at this point. The creep spread is excellent. We're actually going to take down this base, I think. These 4 swarm hosts are burrowing with the express intent of taking this guy down. Why did I say they were burrowing? There they are. A little bit late. They heard me. They heard me, though. Locust moving on up. Single file. Just kind of keeping PartinG on his back foot. Archon gonna die. This one, maybe. No! Down to 37 shields. So close. Locust sniping stuff down best they can. These are a lot of cannons, actually. And there is a Dark Templar moving out. Let's follow him. That's going to be more exciting than the front lines, I think, for a little bit. Dark Templar moving on in, seeing what he can see. Sees, oh, there's a lot of hatcheries. Ooh, and a Spire. Can I kill that? Let's take down this detection first. That's what I'm really worried about. So at the back lines, we have PartinG's Dark Templar with 1 kill. Now going after the Spire, which means no more Corruptors. That's a good choice for him. Are we going to respond? We're sending back a Swarm Host to deal with this guy. Swarm Host versus Templar and Overseer. Okay, Overseer is useful. Overseer morphing in best he can. Dark Templar now has 2 kills. That's good. And 3 kills. Overseer probably going to follow him around from now on, which means he'll probably die fairly soon. Swarm Host popping up more Locusts. Major attack coming here at the front lines, though. Right at the front door of all of this static defense. We are pushing in. PartinG says, alright, enough is enough. The Fungal goes down. A lot of Templar die. No! One hit point on that High Templar. Locust sniping down this Nexus, doing a good job there. Zealot counterattack along this left side. If they get that Infestation Pit, that'd be nice for them. Killing Workers, though, is also pretty good. Workers are dying everywhere. 2 for the Protoss, 4 for the Zerg player. And just kind of sitting back with this static defense, these Infestors, and a whole ton of fully upgraded Corruptors. Army really stacked up here. A few Fungals might be okay. I don't know. That Queen gets murdered, and so does this one. I think that was just freeing up supply. But stabbing, going down on those Archons, getting up on the high ground are these Templar. They're going to storm what they can. They see there aren't many workers, though. Is it even worth it to try to storm here? They say no, it is not worth it whatsoever. But the Tempest trying to take down this hatchery. Doing a pretty good job of it. Our ground units actually dying, though, for the Protoss player. I don't know. Moving on in, pulling back a couple Tempests so they die. Pulling up a Colossus so it dies. Storm going down on everything. Zealots running into the front lines. Dying to all of these Spines and these Locusts. Poor Zealots. They are almost fully upgraded, but that's not enough to keep them alive, unfortunately. Templar still alive with 3 kills. 1 kill on that one. Locusts actually getting a Templar kill there. Pretty good for them. These guys spawning more Locusts along the right side. Super exciting stuff. This is a 40-minute game. Good grief. PartinG's down to 200 minerals. Not fantastic. And he's kind of mining at this base. Does he have 15 workers over here? Or is he transferring? He's transferring, yeah. So this is his last mining base. If he loses this, he's in a lot of trouble because the gold... Nope, the gold was actually taken out. But being rebuilt, though, by life. He'll be mining from there soon enough. I mean, I guess in the latest patch of Starcraft, Heart of the Swarm hosts were kind of nerfed. And so a lot of pro players are finding they can't use them very well anymore, and maybe this was the intent. Swarm hosts just kind of lead to these really long, drawn-out games on occasion that are kind of difficult for viewers to watch, I know, but it can be kind of fun as well. Sniping off 2 Templar, 3 Templar, and an Archon does go down. These Locusts finally achieve their life goal of killing a single Archon. Well done. And I guess considering there aren't many left here, probably more died than I thought, but we are in a difficult position here for the Protoss player. His army is being slowly whittled down. The gold base is just about back up for life. And what can he do? Mothership almost ready. That will help him. Being able to be cloaked is pretty useful in situations like this. The fully upgraded Locusts are moving down trying to catch these High Templar, but they can't because they're off creep and they just hang out here until they die. Very sad. Mined out here. Mined out here. Obviously mined out in the main, mined out here, and we are mining here, but the income levels are actually favoring the Protoss player right now because nobody's actually mining there, nobody's mining here. How many workers? Oh boy. Anyway, major attack going on up here as well, but just kind of more of the same, I guess. Going up with the Vipers, trying to snipe out Templar as best he can. Life is just trying to kill this army, 1 Templar at a time. Zealot counterattack coming along the left side. What can they do? Where are they even going? Down here? Sure, they're going to bypass all the static defense by going up on the ramp. And then they're coming down here and kill stuff, like this infestation pit. Oh no, instead they stop and get caught by a bunch of Locusts. Can they kill it? Yes, they will. They snipe that down before they all die. But instead, then they turn around. That was their entire mission. PartinG said, I want you to go out there and kill that infestation pit, and then you can die. And you have my permission to die, as Bane would say. We do have changelings moving along, kind of scouting things out for the Protoss, for the Zerg player. Seeing what he can see. This base is entirely undefended. If the Locusts go attack it, they can kill it. But instead, they go into no man's land where they get murdered. Oh, poor Locusts. Are this wave going to do it? I don't know. Envision being constantly cast on this Zerg army. PartinG wants to know where this death ball is at all times and doing a good job of it. Yanking in the Mothership Core again. Is that the 4th kill? I think that's the 4th kill on the Mothership Core. Holy Hannah. Rough times for everybody involved here. PartinG, this Archon moving on up, a little bit dangerous. There he goes. He gets back. High Templar as well, getting back under the safety of the Tempests and the Colossus. Observers leading the way. Not getting too close to these Spore Crawlers, though. Oh, a little bit close. Taking a shot. You're not getting through this with your ground units, PartinG. Don't do it. Sniping off a single Spore Crawler, which is pretty nice, I guess. I mean, I think PartinG's just getting starved out here. Poor Oracle dies immediately. What is our army size? Active forces? No. Army. Units? 13 Templar, 1 Archon, 2 Colossus, 1 Tempest, or 1 Templar. And I think this is going to be it. The Corruptors all move in, throwing down Corruption on these Tempests, taking them all down. PartinG's going to call it GG in any second now. Overseers here as well, just to make sure we can take down the Observers at the same time. And that is it. We're flying over. This base is still mining. And there we go. PartinG calls the GG. The series goes to life. He will move on to the finals of the Intel Extreme Masters Championships in Taipei. And congratulations to Life. It was an exciting series. The first 3 games were a lot shorter than this 4th game, but boy howdy, after 46 minutes of just patience, yanking units one at a time into this Corruptor death ball, just basically whittling PartinG away, making it so he could not come here to kill things because the Locust and the static defense, he could not move out as much as he wanted to. He allowed these bases to get mined as basically as much as PartinG wanted, except on this gold base. And in the end, there was just a war of attrition. He took everything down that he needed to. PartinG said fine, eventually gave up at the end, a bunch of Tempests died, and that was it. So, whew, this has been Falcon Paladin with a very long Professional StarCraft 2 Pro cast, and you can also find me, other than YouTube, on Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter, all at /Falcon Paladin. Very easy to find. You can follow me on those sites for exciting, fun stuff, funny stuff, that's not necessarily Blizzard related, and also a lot of Blizzard stuff at the same time. So, Until next time, and the next series, this is Falcon Paladin. You take care of yourself.